The stars shone like distant gems against the black canvas of space. In the command center of Earth's hidden orbital station, Commander Jack Reynolds stared at the holographic display, his face tight with worry. The alien message played again, its translation scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Juvenile civilization detected. Sector 7, Planet 3. Preliminary observation indicates early space exploration phase, preparing guidance protocols as per Confederation standard. Jack ran a hand through his gray hair. The aliens thought Earth was young, primitive, just taking its first steps into space. They had no idea what humanity had hidden beneath the surface. How long until they arrive? He asked. Anna Wright, the station's chief analyst, checked her screens. Based on their transmission patterns, less than 2 weeks, they're moving fast. Jack nodded, making his decision. Send the alert. Code Thunderbolt. It's time to show our hand. The warning spread quietly through Earth's secret network. While the public knew about the International Space Station and the moon base, they remained unaware of the true extent of humanity's space capabilities. For over a century, the world's governments had kept their most advanced technology hidden, ever since they had first intercepted alien communications in 1920. In an underground base beneath the Pacific Ocean, Captain Lisa Miller walked through the docking bay toward her ship. The EDS Thunderbolt gleamed under the bright lights, its sleek black hull absorbing more than reflecting. At 300 meters long, it was Earth's first true warship built for space combat. Captain on deck called out Tom Davis, her first officer, as she approached. The crew of 50 stood at attention. They were the best Earth had to offer. Pilots, engineers, and soldiers trained in secret for this exact moment. At ease, Lisa said. She was not tall, but her presence commanded respect. Her dark eyes scanned the assembled crew. You all know why we're here. For generations, we've kept our true capabilities hidden. Today, that changes. She activated a screen showing the approaching alien ship. The Confederation thinks they're coming to an infant world. They plan to guide us, which means control us, take our resources, maybe turn us into a client state. They've done it before to others. The crew watched her intently as she continued. Our job is simple. When the order comes, we launch and show them Earth isn't the easy target they believe. We don't start a war, but we make it crystal clear we won't be controlled. Tom stepped forward. Engine room reports all systems green, Captain. Weapons and shields at full capacity. Lisa nodded. Good. We have 3 days to prepare. Study your stations. Review the battle plans. This is what we've trained for. High above Earth, in what most people thought was just a research satellite, General William Cooper met with the World Security Council. Representatives from 12 nations sat around the table, faces grim as they viewed the data. The alien vessel will reach Earth orbit on Friday, said the Russian representative. It's larger than we anticipated, but still just a diplomatic ship, not a warship, added the Indian counselor. Our intelligence confirms it's equipped for first contact, not battle. General Cooper stood at the head of the table. This is what we've prepared for since the listening post first picked up their transmissions. They think we're children who just learned to walk. They have no idea we've been monitoring their communications for decades. The Chinese representative leaned forward. An Operation Falseface, is it working? Cooper nodded. Perfectly. Our public space program looks exactly like what a young civilization should have. Old rockets, primitive satellites, basic space stations. Meanwhile, we've kept everything important underground or behind Mars. And the Thunderbolt? Asked the Brazilian counselor. Ready to launch on your command, Cooper replied. Captain Miller reports all systems go. The American representative stood up. Then we proceed as planned. When their ship arrives, we play, along with their expectations. Act impressed by their technology. Appear grateful for their guidance. Meanwhile, the Thunderbolt moves into position. The vote was unanimous. Earth would maintain its deception, right until the moment it revealed its true strength. In her private quarters aboard the Thunderbolt, Lisa reviewed the alien data one last time. The Confederation had encountered 17 other civilizations in the past century. All had been classified as juvenile and brought under Confederation control. Some prospered as client states. Others were stripped of resources and abandoned. The pattern was clear. The Confederation preyed on young worlds that couldn't fight back. A knock on her door interrupted her thoughts. It was Dr. Robert Green, the ship's science officer. "Captain, I've finished analyzing their shield frequencies," he said, handing her a tablet. "Based on the transmissions we've intercepted, I believe we can penetrate their defenses with minimal adjustment to our weapons." Lisa studied the data. "Good work, Doctor. Will they be able to track us when we launch?" Robert shook his head. "No, Captain. Our hull material absorbs their standard scanning frequencies. As long as we stay in Mars' shadow until we make our move, we should achieve complete surprise." "Perfect," Lisa said. "That's exactly what we need." On Friday, right on schedule, the alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit. It was enormous, at least a kilometer long, shaped like a gleaming silver arrow. It broadcast messages of peace and friendship in all Earth languages. In Washington, D.C., the official First Contact team gathered. They were politicians and scientists who knew nothing about Earth's secret space program. They genuinely believed this was humanity's first encounter with alien life. Their shock and awe would be real, exactly what the Confederation expected to see. Jack Reynolds watched from the hidden command center as the alien ship deployed, a smaller vessel toward Earth. Inside it would be the Confederation representatives coming to offer their guidance to a young species. He opened a secure channel to the Thunderbolt, now positioned in the shadow of Mars. "Captain Miller, are you ready?" Lisa's voice came back clear and confident. "Ready and waiting, Commander. Engines hot, weapons charged." "Good," Jack said. "Remember, we don't fire first. We show strength, not aggression." "Understood, sir." Jack closed his eyes briefly. Humanity had hidden in the shadows for generations, building and preparing while presenting a false face to the galaxy. Now the deception was about to end. "May God help us all," he whispered, then opened the channel again. "Operation Thunderbolt is go. Repeat, Thunderbolt is go." In the darkness behind Mars, the Thunderbolt's engines flared to life. Earth was about to announce itself to the stars, not as a child, but as a power to be reckoned with. The Confederation ship gleamed in Earth's orbit, a massive silver arrow catching the sun's light. In its shadow, a smaller vessel descended toward the blue planet below. Inside sat Administrator Dorn, a tall being with pale blue skin and 6 fingers on each hand. He reviewed the data on Earth one final time. "Such a young species," he said to his assistant, Melk. "They've barely left their atmosphere. This will be an easy integration." Melk nodded, her slender neck bending gracefully. "Their technology is primitive. The scans show only basic satellites and a small space station." "Perfect," Dorn smiled. "They'll be grateful for our help, and their planet is rich in resources we need." The shuttle entered Earth's atmosphere, heading for the landing site in Washington, D.C. Dorn had no idea he was being watched by hidden sensors far more advanced than anything the Confederation believed Earth possessed. Deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, in another secret base, Admiral Frank Wilson monitored the alien descent. Around him, officers tracked every movement of the Confederation ships. "The shuttle will land in 5 minutes," reported his communications officer. "Our people are in position to greet them." Frank nodded. "And the Thunderbolt?" "Still in position behind Mars, sir. Captain Miller reports all systems ready." "Good," Frank said. "Now we play our parts perfectly. Remember, everyone on the surface needs to appear suitably impressed by their technology." On his command screen, he could see the world leaders gathering at the landing site. None of them knew the truth. Their reactions would be genuine. Exactly what Earth needed to maintain its deception a little longer. The alien shuttle landed softly on the White House lawn. News cameras from around the world captured the historic moment as the ramp lowered and Administrator Dorn emerged, flanked by 4 other aliens. The Earth delegation approached cautiously, led by the American President and the UN Secretary General. "Welcome to Earth," the President said, his voice strong despite his nervousness. "We are honored by your visit." Dorn smiled, showing teeth too perfect to be natural. "The honor is ours, President Harris. The Confederation greets Earth as a new friend." The formal introductions continued, broadcast to billions around the world. Meanwhile, in orbit, a very different meeting was about to take place. Captain Lisa Miller stood on the bridge of the Thunderbolt as it slipped out from behind Mars. The ship's advanced stealth systems kept it invisible to Confederation sensors. "Time to intercept?" she asked. Tom checked his console. 30 minutes at current speed, Captain." "And the alien mothership?" "Still in high orbit. Their attention is focused on the landing. They have minimal shields up. They're not expecting trouble." Lisa nodded. "Good. Maintain course and speed. Weapons on standby, but don't power up until my command. We don't want to give them any warning." As the Thunderbolt glided silently through space, Lisa thought about humanity's long journey to this moment. For centuries, Earth had kept its true capabilities hidden. When the first alien signals were detected in 1920, the world's governments had made a fateful decision to listen and learn, but never reveal themselves. They had intercepted enough Confederation communications to understand the danger. The aliens didn't come as equals. They came as masters looking for resources and new worlds to control. So Earth had prepared in secret. While showing the world primitive rockets and basic satellites, the hidden program built true starships and weapons that could match anything the Confederation had. "Captain?" Tom's voice broke into her thoughts. "Message from Earth Command. The surface meeting is proceeding as planned. Administrator Dorn is offering Confederation protection now." Lisa's jaw tightened. "Right on schedule. Let's get a bit closer." In Washington, Administrator Dorn stood before the gathered world leaders in the White House East Room. Behind him, a holographic display showed the wonders of the Confederation, gleaming cities, advanced technology, and peaceful aliens of different species living together. "The Confederation welcomes developing worlds like yours," Dorn said smoothly. "We offer technology, medicine, and protection as you grow. In return, we ask only for certain resource rights and your participation in our collective." The President leaned forward. "What kind of resource rights?" Dorn waved his six-fingered hand casually. "Nothing that would impact your daily lives. Just mining rights to certain minerals in your oceans and polar regions, and perhaps cultivation rights to 20% of your arable land." The President exchanged glances with other world leaders. This was playing out exactly as Earth's intelligence had predicted. "That's quite a request," the UN Secretary General said carefully. "We would need time to consider this offer." Dorn's smile remained fixed, but his eyes hardened slightly. "Of course. Though I should mention that Confederation protection begins immediately. For your safety, our mothership will deploy a defense grid around your planet." The trap was being set. Once the defense grid was in place, Earth would be effectively contained. "How long would we have to consider your offer?" asked the Chinese president. "Standard protocol gives new worlds 7 of their days," Dorn replied. "But I'm confident you'll see the benefits well before then." On the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Lisa received the coded message from Earth Command. 7 words that would change history. "Grid deployment beginning. You are cleared to engage." "Battle stations," she ordered. The bridge lights dimmed to red as the crew moved with practiced efficiency. "Weapons online," reported the tactical officer. "Shields at maximum. Stealth systems disengaging in 3, 2, 1. Tom counted down. Lisa stood, her voice calm and clear. "Take us in, full speed. Target their shield generators and communication arrays only. We're not here to destroy them, just to send a message." The Thunderbolt's engines flared to brilliant life as the ship abandoned stealth and accelerated toward the unsuspecting Confederation mothership. For the first time, the aliens would see what Earth was truly capable of. In the command center, beneath the ocean, Admiral Frank watched the Thunderbolt appear on his screens, no longer hiding its presence. "Godspeed, Captain Miller," he whispered. "Show them what Earth can do." In Washington, Administrator Dorn's meeting was interrupted by an urgent message from his ship. His confident expression vanished as he listened to the panicked report in his earpiece. "Impossible," he whispered, his blue skin paling to almost white. "Where did it come from?" The Earth leaders watched in confusion as the alien suddenly stared at them with new eyes, no longer condescending, but afraid. In orbit, above them, humanity's first starship was about to strike. The thunderbolt cut through space like a knife, its black hull absorbing light rather than reflecting it. On the bridge, Captain Lisa Miller watched as the distance to the Confederation mothership rapidly closed. "Weapons locked on target," reported Marcus, her weapons officer. "Shield generators and communication arrays identified." "Enemy status?" Lisa asked, her voice steady despite the tension running through her body. Tom checked his readings. "They're scrambling, Captain. Sensors show they're trying to raise shields to full power, but they weren't prepared. Their weapon systems are coming online, but slowly." Lisa nodded. This was exactly what they had hoped for: surprise and confusion. "Time to intercept? 45 seconds. She opened the ship-wide comm. "All hands, this is the captain. We are about to engage the Confederation vessel. Remember your training. This isn't just about today. It's about humanity's future among the stars." On the tactical display, she could see the massive alien ship growing larger. It was beautiful in its way, a marvel of engineering. But it represented a threat Earth could not allow. 30 seconds to weapons range," Tom announced. Lisa took a deep breath. "Fire on my mark." In the White House, Administrator Dorn's composure had completely shattered. He was barking orders into his communication device, his previously friendly demeanor replaced by panic. "Full shields, power all weapons, where did it come from?" he shouted. The Earth leaders exchanged subtle glances. The President stepped forward. "Is something wrong, Administrator?" Dorn looked at him with new eyes, suspicion replacing condescension. You knew. This is a trap." The President maintained a puzzled expression. "I don't understand. What's happening?" Before Dorn could answer, one of his aides burst into the room. "Administrator, Earth has a warship. It's approaching the mothership at attack speed." The room fell silent. The charade was beginning to unravel. "Mark," Lisa commanded. The Thunderbolt's weapons fired in perfect sequence. Brilliant beams of energy streaked across space, striking the Confederation ship precisely where intended. The alien vessel's shield generators exploded in bursts of blue fire. "Direct hits on all primary targets," Marcus reported. "Their shields are down to 20% capacity." "Again," Lisa ordered. "Target their weapons arrays now." The Thunderbolt banked sharply, evading the few defensive shots the Confederation ship managed to fire. Earth's warship was smaller but far more agile. It circled the larger vessel, firing with surgical precision. "Their main communication array is disabled," Tom reported. "They can't call for help." Lisa nodded. "Bring us around for another pass. Target their engine control systems, just enough to prevent them from leaving orbit." The Thunderbolt responded instantly to her commands. On the screens, the Confederation ship looked like a wounded animal, venting atmosphere from multiple breaches. "Captain," her communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien vessel. They're surrendering." A murmur ran through the bridge. This had happened even faster than they expected. "Put it on screen," Lisa ordered. The face that appeared was not Dorn's, but another blue-skinned alien, this one with markings that suggested higher rank. His expression mixed shock with fear. "This is Fleet Captain Wren of the Confederation vessel Enlightenment. We surrender. Please cease your attack, we have civilians aboard." Lisa kept her expression neutral. "This is Captain Lisa Miller of the Earth defense ship Thunderbolt. Your surrender is accepted on condition that you power down all remaining weapons and make no attempt to deploy your containment grid or contact other Confederation vessels." The alien blinked rapidly, clearly struggling to understand how this was possible. "Agreed. But how? Earth is a juvenile world. Your technology cannot—" "Your intelligence was wrong," Lisa cut him off. Transmit your compliance and prepare to receive boarding parties. As the screen went dark, cheers erupted across the bridge. Lisa allowed it for a moment before raising her hand for silence. Well done, everyone. But this is just the beginning. Tom, contact Earth Command. Tell them the Confederation ship is secured, and ask for instructions regarding Administrator Dorn. In the underground command center, Admiral Frank Wilson received the news with grim satisfaction. Around him, officers and technicians celebrated quietly. "The Thunderbolt reports complete success, sir," his aide said. "The alien ship is disabled and has surrendered." Frank nodded. "Send the extraction team for Dorn. It's time to drop the act." He turned to the large screen showing the Thunderbolt positioned beside the much larger Confederation vessel. Decades of secrecy and preparation had paid off. Earth had revealed its true face, not a helpless child, but a prepared defender. "Begin Operation Truth," he ordered. "It's time to show them everything." In Washington, the mood had changed dramatically. Administrator Dorn was now surrounded by not just diplomats, but military personnel who had shed their civilian disguises. They wore uniforms with patches showing Earth's real space fleet insignia. "What is the meaning of this?" Dorn demanded, though his voice lacked conviction. The president's friendly expression remained, but his eyes had hardened. "Administrator, your ship has surrendered to our forces. Your deployment of a containment grid has been prevented." "Impossible," Dorn whispered. "You're a juvenile species. You have only primitive rockets and basic satellites." The president smiled. "That's what we wanted you to believe. What the Confederation has been seeing is only what we allowed you to see." A new figure entered the room, General William Cooper in full military dress. "Administrator Dorn, you will now accompany us to our orbital command center. There's much to discuss about the Confederation's future relationship with Earth." Dorn looked from face to face, finally understanding. "How long?" he asked. "How long have you been deceiving us?" The general's smile was cold. "Since we first intercepted your transmissions, over 100 years ago. We know all about the Confederation's guidance of developing worlds. We know what happened to the Polari and the Vox. We know everything." Dorn's shoulders slumped. The perfect trap had been sprung, and he had walked right into it. "Captain," Lisa Miller watched as her boarding parties reported back from the Confederation ship. The aliens had complied fully, powering down weapons and accepting Earth's troops aboard. "Captain," Tom called out, "we're receiving new orders from command. We're to escort the Confederation vessel to the dark side of the moon." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "The dark side? So they're finally revealing Luna Base?" "Yes, Captain. Operation Truth is in effect. All hidden bases and ships are being revealed." Lisa smiled. After generations of secrecy, humanity was finally showing its true face to the stars. The Thunderbolt was just one of dozens of advanced warships Earth had built in secret. "Send the escort coordinates to the Confederation vessel," she ordered, "and prepare for Phase 2. As the Thunderbolt moved into position, Lisa thought about what would come next. This wasn't just about defending Earth. It was about changing the balance of power in the galaxy. The Confederation was about to learn that humanity would not be controlled or exploited. They had thought Earth was young and easy target for their manipulations. Instead, they had found a wolf in sheep's clothing, and now the wolf was showing its teeth. Administrator Dorn had never felt so small. The shuttle carrying him from Earth ascended through the atmosphere, but instead of returning to his ship, it changed course toward the moon. Through the viewport, he could see his own vessel, the mighty Enlightenment, being escorted by the black Earth ship that had so easily disabled it. "Where are you taking me?" he asked the silent human guards. General Cooper, sitting across from him, finally spoke. "To a place that doesn't exist according to your intelligence." The shuttle banked, and the dark side of the moon came into view. Dorn's eyes widened. Where there should have been only craters and dust, there was instead a massive complex spreading across the lunar surface. Lights gleamed from domes and towers. Ships moved in and out of large hangar bays. Impossible, Dorn whispered. Luna Base, General Cooper said with undisguised pride. Established 80 years ago, home to 10,000 personnel. One of 12 major off-world bases we've built. The shuttle descended toward an opening in the largest dome. As they landed, Dorn could see humans in uniforms moving with purpose through the base. This was no hastily built facility. This was the result of decades of planning and construction. Why the deception? Dorn asked as they exited the shuttle. Why hide? All this? Cooper gave him a hard look. Because we know how the Confederation treats worlds it considers threats. Captain Lisa Miller stood at attention as Admiral Frank Wilson stepped onto the bridge of the Thunderbolt. The crew snapped to salute. At ease, the Admiral said. Captain Miller, excellent work. The Confederation vessel is now secured at Luna Base. Thank you, sir, Lisa replied. What are our orders now? Admiral Wilson moved to the command chair that Lisa had vacated. The next phase is already beginning. Earth is revealing its full capabilities. Not just the Thunderbolt, but the entire fleet. On the main screen, a tactical display showed green dots emerging from hidden bases on Mars beneath Earth's oceans and from the asteroid belt. Each dot represented an Earth warship, moving into defensive positions around the planet. 30 ships, sir, Tom asked, unable to hide his surprise. 37, actually, the Admiral corrected, plus our fixed defenses and orbital platforms. We're showing the Confederation exactly what they're dealing with. Lisa studied the display. What about Administrator Dorn? He's being taken to the Council Chamber at Luna Base. It's time for new negotiations, with Earth dictating the terms. In the gleaming Council Chamber beneath the lunar surface, Dorn sat alone at one end of a long table. At the other end were the representatives of Earth's nations, now dressed in their true military and diplomatic uniforms, rather than the civilian clothes they had worn on the surface. The President spoke first. Administrator Dorn, let me formally introduce myself. I am not just the President of the United States, but also the current chair of the Earth Defense Alliance, the organization that has, for over a century, prepared humanity for this day. Dorn looked from face to face. Your deception was complete. We had no indication of your true capabilities. That was the point, said the Chinese representative. We intercepted Confederation communications in 1920. We learned how you guided developing worlds, how you stripped resources from planets that couldn't defend themselves. So we made a decision, the Russian delegate continued. We would appear weak while building strength. We would let you see only what supported your belief that we were primitive. Dorn's 6 fingers tapped nervously on the table. What happens now? Will you destroy our ship? Kill me and my crew? The President shook his head. No, we are not. Like the Confederation, we don't destroy those we can talk to. Instead, we want to negotiate as equals. A door opened, and Technical Officer Ben Parker entered. He was carrying a data pad. Sorry I'm late. The analysis of their ship is complete. And? Asked the President. Ben smiled. As we suspected, their technology is advanced, but not as advanced as they led us to believe. In some areas, we're actually ahead of them. He turned to Dorn. Your weapon systems, for instance. Impressive, but our quantum shielding is better. And your faster-than-light drive? We developed something similar 40 years ago, but ours is 20% more efficient. Dorn stared in disbelief. But how? Without guidance from an advanced civilization? Because we had to, Ben interrupted. Because we knew we were alone against potential threats. Necessity drove our innovation. On the Thunderbolt, Lisa was preparing for her next mission. The ship had been quickly resupplied at Luna Base and was ready to depart again. Captain, Tom said, approaching with a datapad. Our new orders are in. We're to take diplomatic representatives to the Confederation Central Council. Lisa raised an eyebrow. They're moving that quickly. Apparently, Administrator Dorn has been cooperative since seeing our full capabilities. He's provided coordinates and diplomatic protocols. Lisa nodded. How many ships are we taking? 3. The Thunderbolt will lead. with the Defiance and Challenger as escort. A small fleet, but enough to make an impression. Earth was stepping onto the galactic stage, not as a supplicant, but as a power. "Prepare the ship," Lisa ordered. "We depart in 6 hours." Back in the Lunar Council chamber, Dorn was reviewing the terms Earth had prepared. His hands trembled slightly as he read. "These are not what I expected," he admitted. The president nodded. "We don't want war with the Confederation. We don't even want to disrupt the stability you've built. What we want is recognition as equals and reform of how you treat developing worlds." Dorn looked up. "The Council will never agree to this." "They will," said General Cooper, "once they understand the alternative. Earth is prepared to protect other developing worlds from exploitation, by force if necessary." The implications were clear. Earth wasn't just defending itself, it was positioning itself as a counterweight to Confederation power. "You've been hiding and watching for a century," Dorn said slowly. "What else have you been doing that we don't know about?" The Russian representative smiled coldly. "We've been making friends, Administrator. Other worlds that chafe under Confederation guidance. We've been very quiet, very careful, but we haven't been idle." Dorn set down the data pad. His world was changing by the minute. The Confederation had stumbled upon not just a surprisingly advanced world, but a potential revolution in the making. "I will present your terms to the Council," he said finally. "But I must warn you, they will not surrender power easily." The president's expression was firm. "Neither will Earth. We've waited too long and prepared too carefully to accept anything less than full recognition of our sovereignty, and the sovereignty of any world that asks for our protection." As Dorn contemplated this new reality, the Thunderbolt and its sister ships broke orbit from the moon, beginning their journey to the heart of Confederation space. Earth was stepping out of hiding, and the galaxy would never be the same. The journey to the Confederation Central Council took 3 days. Captain Lisa Miller spent most of that time studying the data Administrator Dorn had provided about Confederation protocols and defenses. The Thunderbolt led the small Earth fleet, with the Defiance and Challenger flanking it in perfect formation. "Entering Confederation space now, Captain," Tom announced as the ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Lisa nodded. "Any sign they've detected us?" "Yes, ma'am. Multiple sensor sweeps. They definitely know we're here." The main screen showed their destination, a massive space station shaped like a wheel, rotating slowly against the backdrop of a red giant star. Around it floated dozens of Confederation ships, their silver hulls gleaming in the red light. "They've sent us landing coordinates," said the communications officer, "and a warning not to deviate from our assigned path." Lisa smiled grimly. "Acknowledge the coordinates. Maintain defensive posture, but keep weapons powered down. Let's not start a war today if we can help it." As the 3 Earth ships approached, a squadron of smaller Confederation vessels moved to escort them. The message was clear. They were being watched carefully. "Quite a reception committee," Tom remarked. "They're scared," Lisa replied. "And they should be. We've changed everything they thought they knew about the balance of power." In the station's Grand Council chamber, representatives from 37 spacefaring species sat in rising tiers around a central speaking floor. The chamber buzzed with nervous conversation. News of Earth's surprise attack and hidden technology had spread quickly through Confederation space. The Supreme Counselor, a tall, thin being with translucent skin, called for order. "The representatives from Earth will enter now. I remind all. Counselors, that diplomatic immunity is in effect." The massive doors opened and the Earth delegation entered. Led by General Cooper, it included Captain Miller, Technical Officer Ben Parker, and diplomats from Earth's major powers. Administrator Dorn followed behind them, looking distinctly uncomfortable. The Earth delegation took their place on the speaking floor. General Cooper stepped forward. "Greetings, Supreme Counselor, distinguished representatives of the Confederation. I am General William Cooper of the Earth Defense Alliance. We come to establish new relations between Earth and the Confederation, relations based on equality and mutual respect. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Supreme Counselor raised a hand for silence. General Cooper, your world has deceived the Confederation, hidden military capabilities, and attacked one of our vessels. These are not the actions of a peaceful civilization. Cooper's expression remained calm. With respect, Supreme Counselor, we acted in self-defense. Earth intercepted Confederation communications over a century ago. We learned how you classify developing worlds, how you exploit those you deem juvenile. We saw what happened to the Polari, the Vox, and others who accepted your guidance. Another counselor stood, this one with scaled skin and yellow eyes. You claim to have studied us for a century? Impossible. Your species has barely achieved spaceflight. Ben Parker stepped forward. Actually, Counselor, that's what we wanted you to believe. The space program you observed was a carefully constructed facade. Behind it, we built this. He activated a holographic display that showed Earth's true space capabilities. The lunar base, the fleet of ships, the Mars colonies, all hidden from Confederation observation. Shocked whispers filled the chamber. The Supreme Counselor leaned forward. If what you show is true, why reveal yourselves now? Why not remain hidden? Lisa Miller spoke up. Because we learned you were preparing to place a containment grid around our planet. We couldn't allow that. And because it's time for the exploitation to end, not just for Earth but for all developing worlds. The chamber erupted in angry shouts. The Supreme Counselor banged a gavel for order. You dare to threaten the Confederation? Your 3 ships, against our entire fleet? General Cooper smiled. We brought 3 ships as a diplomatic courtesy. But make no mistake, Earth is prepared to defend itself and others. And we are not alone. He nodded to Ben, who changed the holographic display. Now it showed communications between Earth and representatives of 6 other worlds, all classified as juvenile by the Confederation, all secretly contacted by Earth's hidden agents over decades. The Vox remember what you did to their southern continent, Cooper continued. The Polari haven't forgotten how you stripped their moon of resources. The Talari still count their dead from the assistance you provided during their civil war. The Supreme Counselor's translucent skin flushed dark with anger. This is outrageous. You've been interfering with our protectorates? No, Cooper corrected. We've been offering them a choice, and now we extend that choice to all worlds under Confederation protection. They can remain under your control, or they can join the Earth Alliance as equal partners. The chamber fell into stunned silence. On the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Tom monitored the situation through their secure link to the Earth delegation. The Confederation ships are changing position, he reported to the acting captain. They're moving to surround us. Lieutenant Maria Rodriguez left in command while Captain Miller attended the council, nodded calmly. Expected. Maintain defensive posture. Shields at maximum, but weapons still powered down. What if they attack? Asked a nervous ensign. Maria smiled. They won't. That's not what this is about. This is about showing strength while talking peace. She turned to the tactical display. The dance was continuing in space. Confederation ships trying to intimidate. Earth ships standing firm. But no one firing. Not yet. Besides, Maria added, they don't know about our other ships. On her private screen, she could see what the Confederation couldn't. 5 more Earth vessels waiting just outside sensor range, ready to jump in if needed. Earth had prepared for every possibility. Back in the council chamber, the Supreme Counselor had called for a brief recess. The Earth delegation stood to one side, while Confederation representatives huddled in small groups, talking urgently. They're rattled, Lisa observed quietly to General Cooper. He nodded. Good. Fear can be a powerful motivator for peace. Administrator Dorn approached them, looking worried. The council is divided. Many want to reject your demands outright to prove the Confederation cannot be challenged. And the others? Cooper asked. They see the risk. If what you've shown about your alliances with other worlds is true, This could spark a civil war within the Confederation. The Supreme Counselor returned to his position and called for attention. The chamber quieted. The Council has deliberated. We are prepared to establish provisional diplomatic relations with Earth, pending further negotiations. About your unusual status, Cooper stepped forward. We accept provisional relations, but our core demands remain. Earth will be recognized as a sovereign equal, not a protectorate. And any world currently under Confederation guidance will be given the opportunity to choose its status freely. The Supreme Counselor's face showed the strain of conceding to these terms. The details will require extensive negotiation. Of course, Cooper agreed. That's why we've come. Not for war, but for a new beginning. As the formal proceedings continued, Lisa Miller looked around the chamber. In just 1 week, humanity had changed its place in the galaxy, from a species believed to be taking its first steps into space, to one that had forced the mighty Confederation to negotiate as equals. They had thought Earth was young, an easy target for control and exploitation. Instead, they had found a world that had watched, waited, prepared, and then struck with perfect timing. Earth was stepping onto the galactic stage at last, not as a child but as a protector, not just for humanity, but for all worlds that deserved their freedom. The deception was over. The truth had been revealed, and the stars would never be the same again.